from Eric Ten Hag and now to Amorim, Manchester United is still suffering. 13th position and now 14th position. My guy, Ibrahim, what did happen? What's happening to Manchester United?
Many things, man. Many things. Down from the ownership structure.
Yeah.
Down to the players and everything. I think you have to look at things from the very top, isn't it?
From the top.
Yes, from the top. Because there's no way you can, explain United story without, looking at the ownership structure of the club, right? Because when you look at what is happening, that is with the Rashford situation and everything, you get to understand that the major issue is coming from, I think, the management structure.
No, okay. I feel like let's jumpstart away from the management, the players on ground and the coach. Don't you think Amorim coming in, he should have made maybe some quick changes, and United should have seen wins, and it's still like nothing has happened. There's not been any change. And for me personally, I feel even Ruben van Nistelrooy, when he took charge as interim, he was even better of the Amorim. Don't you think so?
No, I don't really see it from that angle, because I think Van Nistelrooy took charge of maybe 4 games, isn't it?
Yeah. So
you cannot actually judge a manager by just 4 games. And I think those 4 games gave, Van Nistelrooy the opportunity to, just like a pathway for him to, to gain the job, with Leicester, isn't it? So you can't actually judge by just 4 games. I think the club feels, okay, maybe that's not the right, that's not the right decision to make, right? That is with Van Nistelrooy. But, I feel for Amorim, because Amorim is a very good manager. We know his history.
Yeah, his pedigree.
We know what he can do. Sporting and all that. Coming into Manchester United to inherit, a very bad squad. Yeah. Because the players are not, majority of the players in Manchester United, they are not good enough.
I also think so, because I was looking at Manchester United team, and I had to take a look at Liverpool's team, and in my head I'm trying to make a combined 11. Which players in Manchester United can actually start for Liverpool, and I could hardly spot any at the moment.
Yeah, like that's to tell you everything about the club, right? Because these players are not good enough, and these players are on huge wages. I think these are some of the major issues United are having to, because they have to clear the decks, right? And for them to be able to do that is very, very difficult. Like, look at players like Anthony, for instance. He's not like nothing to write home about, right? And when you look at Zexi, these players are not, they are not Manchester United, kind of
Ten Hag signing.
Yes, like these are Ten Hag signings, right? So I think, because it doesn't have excuses though. Yeah. I think Amorim just have to find a way to just put the club, in a very good position towards the end of the season. Maybe like a 7th.
Amorim
like 7th or 6th position, because I think that's the least he can do.
But is that possible now with the crop of players he has? And Premier League, it's getting more intense. We see clubs picking points. Like the other day, we saw Fulham outclassing Chelsea, and Man City can't even win games. Let's be honest, the competition in the league right now, it's intense, and you can't say you just pick so number of points and you finish 7th. Realistically speaking, can United finish 7th with Amorim?
I think they can, get close to 7 if they just have to put a little bit of seriousness into their game. Because those clubs you talk about picking points, I think those clubs is not that they have much quality in the squad and all that in their squad. I think it's just all about seriousness, right? Those clubs plays with, they play for the club, right? They play, they give everything, to football.
Do you think sometimes it's about how you approach games?
For sure. And I think Amorim should also, learn to, I think there are certain things he's doing that is not right. Like trying to reshuffle the team, up to this very point in time, he's still trying to select, his first 11. And this is Manchester United, because I think there've been a lot of bullets in the media, so many attacks and all that. Yeah. Because despite the fact that we're saying, okay, United don't have quality players and all that these players are every Ten Hag signings, I think some people will still have this judgment. Some people can still make a judgment that, okay, Ten Hag is gone. Yeah. Right? you should be able to do something. I think you should be able to bring out the best out of these players, because when you look at Chelsea, for instance, these are the same, these are Pochettino signings, right? And Maresca
Yes.
was able to, to get the best out of them, isn't it? But I think clubs, when you look at Aston Villa as well, those signings are Gerrard. These are players playing under Steven Gerrard, but Emery was able to get the best out of them. So there's still that argument. I think he should be able to, just put the players together and see what, he can derive from this team. And January as well. I think by January, he should try in as much as possible to get maybe like 3 signings.
The thing about January signings is that it's difficult to get proper players because clubs are not willing to let the big guys leave January mid-season.
Yeah, that's another issue. But this is Manchester United we're talking about. Despite the fact that United is in a very worse situation, I think they still have what it takes to attract, big names.
Okay, let's look at let's talk about the players.
Yeah.
And do you think some players might be leaving this January? Because we've got players that haven't. It's been a waste even signing them. Players like Anthony, do you think he will be let go in January or maybe at the end of the season?
I think they have to look, for a solution. The reason why I feel, Anthony, there's a possibility he's not leaving the club this January because I think when you look at that right wing side, I think Diallo is the only, he's the only guy doing it.
Yeah.
In fact, in Manchester United at this very point in time. So you need players like Anthony in those kind of, in difficult moments as well.
Yeah.
And like now you can see we have so many games. I think so many competitions to be played, right? So you still need to keep Anthony around, and maybe within the summer we'll look for a solution for him. But Rashford is a player that needs to leave.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about Rashford a lot in the next video. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll talk a lot about Rashford in the next video. And another player who he hasn't really played lots of games because of injuries and all. Would United be looking for a solution for Mount? Maybe Mason Mount. Maybe getting a player who can maybe stand in for him when he goes on one of his injuries, because it's not looking good for Mason Mount.
When you say we should get a player that can stand in for Mason Mount, that means like what you're saying, what you're saying is that Mason Mount is that important.
Is he not important? You signed this guy for 60 million, right?
Yeah.
Sign this guy for 60 million, and a United fan here is saying he's not that important.
Because we're talking about the current situation of things. If you talk about players like maybe Bruno Fernandes, and maybe some other key players.
Okay, let's talk about Fernandes. Okay, go on.
Like Mason Mount as it stands now, we can't actually judge his performance that much, because I think ever since he joined, it's just unfortunate. Like ever since he joined the club, he has been, series of injuries and all that. I think Mason Mount has not even featured up to 20 games for Manchester United. I think
that's true.
So, we still have to, look into that as well. But saying you should sign a player to stand for Mount, like we've not seen the best.
You have to what I was driving at is maybe having a squad depth, because players will always get injured. Let's look at Chelsea, for example. Chelsea had Modric, had Madueke, still went on to sign Neto.
These are young players.
Yes, but they could actually deliver.
Definitely.
You've got Modric, you've got Madueke. Modric hasn't really sparked since he arrived at Chelsea. Went on to get another winger in Neto.
Yeah.
And Neto has been doing very, very well. So that's the point I'm driving at. Squad depth.
Yeah. I think when United is going through, I don't know what is wrong with the club, because look at have you seen United bench?
Like it's
not that the concept is not there, but the players we have on the bench, these are old players. Like they are just like old timers.
Go Casemiro.
Like look at Casemiro,
Eriksen, and to the defense is in shambles. I'm trying to
too bad,
because I see United playing a three-man defense a whole lot, and the guys in the defense, they just don't cut it for me. We've got Maguire there, and to the right, Mazraoui plays more in the midfield. Yeah, and it's been a mess. But how does Amorim manage this squad and finish seventh?
Well, Amorim, I think most times I heard him, you know, that's in the media, he sounds like we are trying to, like, every now and every day we're trying as much as possible to, to continue with our ideas and all that. But the fact is, this approach cannot actually work for this, set of players. Like, it can't work. There are certain things that cannot work out. When you have players like Maguire at the back, you have players like, Johnny Evans, at the back. I don't see how you can actually pass those kind of ideas across, with the kind of squad, we have at, Manchester United. So I think he just have to, be true to himself. Let's come up with an approach that actually suits these players. Let's try, maybe we can come up with a defensive approach.
Exactly.
Counter. I think you defend.
I think that could actually work because we've seen how good United they are when they attack, and see the other day Ahmad was beautiful. He's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, because when you look at, I think this is the same approach. I think when Mourinho was there, isn't it? He realized that those players are not good enough. So what he did was that he would just sit back and hit the opposition on the counter. I think these are the kind of approach Amorim needs to come up with. Playing 3-man defense in a defense that is not even good right from the very onset, I think is a very, very bad idea.
Can't work.
It cannot work out.
Okay, guys, you've heard it from Ibrahim. Manchester United is in shambles at the moment, and he doesn't really believe in Amorim at the moment. He doesn't believe in Amorim, but he feels Amorim should work his setup in his approach to games, and United could possibly finish seventh. So in the next video, we'll be talking about Rashford, so stay with us. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and also subscribe. Show us some support. So guys, see you in the next one. Cheers.
Inside match, Mark lost up. I went and did Thanksgiving in church. Hear me and hear me well.